What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Resident Evil 6. The first bonus will be collecting all of the emblems and seeing their rewards. There are 80 of them out in the wild throughout the game, and I've made this guide as comprehensive as I can so that anyone can find them all quick and painlessly. We'll be starting off with Leon and Helena's campaign. The first emblem is after you get the directive to search the campus for Liz, and after you meet the father of Liz. There's actually one right behind you if you actually come around here, and in the side room is your first emblem. Later on, when you're in the side house and you're looking for the key card to get into the college campus, in one of the drawers, you can actually find another serpent emblem. Down near the train tracks, when you're about to go into the trains that come towards you and can instant kill you, right outside the door is an emblem. After Helena opens up the door for you, and after you meet the first Shrieker, head into the bar. And right before you need to save those people from zombies and before the truck comes crashing into the gas station, it's actually right here. So be sure to look behind you. In fact, a lot of the emblems do that. In Chapter 2, behind one of the gravestones, when you have to deal with the zombies that just materialize out of nowhere, it's right there. Pretty easy to miss, but if you continuously go look, you'll be able to find it. The next one is actually in the church. Now, when you're about to put the two statues up on the top, that's the easiest way to get it, but if you have a long-range weapon or just a handgun, you can actually shoot it from down below. So, just in case you don't want to wait.
Roger.
The next one is right before you go see Ada's birth, or Carla's birth, however. In one of the side rooms is actually a filled sink. Shut that off, and you can actually get a knife-proof emblem. Actually, just realized the shadow was underneath the sink, and that's just disgusting. And down in the depths, right near the beginning, as soon as you reach this section, it's over off in the distance. You can shoot it with any weapon. There you go, Chapter 2's done. Starting out Chapter 3, as soon as you get here, turn around, there's your emblem. It's actually pretty easy to miss if you just head straight to the switches. The next one is actually when you're going through the water segment and you reach this dry land. You can actually find a coffin that you can pull the lid off of, and inside is your emblem. The way I remember this is, if I'm going through the water segment, this is the only dry land that you'll find for a long time. So it's an easy way to remember. Later on, down below, before you throw Helena over, she has to go on those different formations and go over here and lower the bridge for you. You can actually get this with Leon, but it's a lot easier with Helena. And after you're chased by the shark, up where Helena was actually helping you out, if you actually climb the ladder and go all the way through the pathway she was going through, you can find the emblem. In Chapter 4, as soon as you beat the big buzz monster, the one that shoots bees, has the gas, down the stairs and to your right, it's right there. And on your way down to the bottom of the plane, be sure to get some booze, and also get the emblem while you're at it. Can't believe I missed this during the Let's Play, are you kidding? Down below, now this is going to be kind of difficult to explain, but right here, when you're about to throw your partner over so she can unlock the door, you can actually find it up here. So I would say look for the throw option, and then look up into the corner, and you'll be able to find it. Now, from the first key, I'm showing you down that alleyway is where you find the first key, or at least the closest one to when you start collecting these. Open up the door, come on through, and you'll be able to find this emblem. I would say get this before the regenerators start to swarm you, because then it becomes a nuisance trying to collect it.
What's it like out there?
Here we go, Chapter 5 for Leon. As soon as you escape the gas your first time, come on in and you can actually see it on one of the displays. It's actually pretty easy to get. The place that looks like the prologue. There is actually an emblem inside this truck. Be sure not to miss it. Right before you fight Simonsaurus Rex, look over to your right. If you take the time to get all the equipment, you'll be able to see this offhand. And after the Simmons globule gets attacked by zombies, come behind this. After you see the cutscene, come behind this ladder, or stairway, and you'll be able to find the last emblem of Leon's campaign. 20 down, 60 to go. At the start of Chris's campaign, when you're going through one of the hallways, look for the pigs. That's the easiest way to find that emblem. This one's actually kind of difficult, but I would say when you're looking for landmarks, look for these shelving units. And then look for the box that's behind you, or one that you can easily miss. And behind one of these is your emblem. Now this is going to be kind of difficult because Chris basically depends on visual cues. After you have cleared off the roof, if you actually come up to here, you have the best vantage point to collect the emblem way off in the distance. Now, you don't actually need a sniper rifle to get it, as you can see here. And the last one for Chapter 1, look for floor 6. That's the biggest indicator I can give you. If you head on to floor 6, there shouldn't be any enemies as soon as you get in here, which is kind of nice. But you want to look for one of the butcher shops, or at least one of the places that sells meat. All the way back here, there's actually quite a few of them, but look for the emblem specifically. It's not over on this one, but there it is. It's actually pretty well hidden, because all the meat covers it up. In Chapter 2, when you're about to blow up the area to move on to the bridge section, off in the back, I would say get this as soon as possible because you're about to be overrun by a lot of dudes. This next one is Piers Only. After you get thrown over to this side of the bridge, go on for a little while, and eventually you'll get to the point where you have to shoot the tank. Right on the bridge, very far away actually, Chris cannot actually make this shot, so that's why it's Piers Only. There's your emblem. As soon as you reach this segment of the game where you have the slow walking that's automatic and you see all these corpses of men everywhere, if you actually head all the way back, the emblem is just on the wall. It's not even hidden, it's just right there.
Over here. I'm getting a reading on the other side of this door.
Pierce.
After you get Carla's cutscene, when you finally meet her with Chris and Piers, come back to this room, be sure not to miss it. It is easily missed. And that's it for Chapter 2. Chapter 3, as soon as you get that nice camera angle showing you what hotel that the giant water snake went into, come down here, take a left, come all the way back here, find your emblem. Not too bad. As you're heading through, one of the landmarks I would say to look for is look for the dominoes, because in the back, with the 2 beds, is an emblem that can be easily missed. This one's kind of difficult. When you're fighting the helicopter, you actually want to get this emblem as you're fighting the helicopter. Because as soon as you make the transition after the whole place explodes, the emblem disappears. And this one, you can only get it during the driving segment. It's easier to get as Piers because he has free range of all those equipment, but you can also get it as Chris. Be sure not to miss it. Chapter 4 is a bit mean with its placement, but as soon as you start up, in the hangar, inside this helicopter, is the first emblem. The next one, after you go outside for the first time, this one took a while to find, but just remember the first time you are let outside and you can actually see open water. Out on one of the boats, if you look for the searchlights, you can actually kind of see it, that little speck of blue out in the distance. Use your sniper rifle and you'll be able to get it. I mean, if you have better aim than me, yeah, you're going to have an easier time to get it. But eventually, there you go. After you lower the ladder with either Chris or Piers turning the handle, you can actually get this one. It's under the stairs. Kinda easy to miss, but also right in plain sight. So that one's not too difficult. This one is Piers exclusive. After he's blowing up the barricades and trying to stop the missile, I believe it's the second barricade that you blow up. Eventually, you'll find a tire with an emblem in it. That is actually pretty easy to miss, I'll admit.
Okay, it's off.
This one is a Chris exclusive. After Piers stops the fans in the underwater submerged area, you're able to come through here. It's actually really easy to see as Chris, but I can understand how people would miss it. Like me missing about 5 shots trying to kill the damn thing. And after your first elevator segment, come into this room and immediately turn to the right and look in the corner. This is right after you get off the elevator with Piers your first time. It's right up here. Now that one, you can barely see that one, so I understand if you miss. The next one, after you're running away from the water monster and Piers has to open up the door for you. This can be gotten by either Chris or Piers. Immediately turn around and look down. It's just right next to your feet. Now this last one is obnoxious. When you get to the third and final barricade and you need Piers to blow it open, it's right here, but I didn't have any ammo, so I couldn't shoot it. Thankfully, you can get this one as Piers by just shooting a little bolt of lightning at it. I can't believe that worked. And that's it for Chris.
We have to get out of here.
During Sherry's campaign, in near one of the opening areas, it's just right above a doorway, so just look for doorways, I guess. After you do a little bit of puzzle platforming and you have to separate and regroup for the first and second time, as soon as you get to this point, it should be in plain sight. Now, this one is pretty interesting, because the normal way is you send Sherry up here, and she's the only one who can get it. But that's not true. You see it's in the corner? Now let me show you. Jake can't get up there normally, but if you have a flash grenade, which Jake actually has one by default, you can actually toss it up there and still get it. So that can be gotten by Jake or Sherry.
I know what I'm doing.
And the last one, when you're coming through, when you're about to fight the giant, you can actually see it right there with the smoke.
That thing is just like the Juavo. A bioorganic weapon for your good.
In Chapter 2, you need to collect the memory devices. Near Memory Device A, you can find an emblem just in the forklift.
Found another one.
After you get Memory Device C,
That's all
do you
we
see it in the snow? And let me get a closer look. This is the cabin at the top of the hill. This is one of the highest points you can get in this level. And it's right out there. Wait for the snowstorm to pass so you can properly see it. But if you have the sniper rifle, you'll be able to see it anyway. This emblem can go straight to hell. It's right before a checkpoint, which means if you miss it, you have to reload a save when you're back at the cabin right before the snowmobiles. Just kind of slow down a little bit. You're kind of playing a dangerous game because you might die if you go slow enough, but you can get it. And this one, I would suggest unlocking the door. This is where Ustanak responds to sound. So unlock the door real quick. Make sure your partner's right next to you. And right there behind you, shoot it, and then go through the door because he's about to kill you instantly. You need to make sure you do that and not as you're going through the door afterwards because it automatically closes behind you. In Chapter 3, this is Jake only, when he takes control of the cameras. In the third room that he can look at, he can actually shoot the emblem from on top of a shelf. And Sherry doesn't have any ammo, that's why he can only get it. After you reach this portion, after you all get dressed, over in one of the side rooms, in the janitor's closet, I guess, the emblem is actually just hiding out among the boxes. During the Let's Play, we actually didn't come in this room, so I can understand why we missed it. This emblem is absolutely ridiculous. When the tank busts through the big doors, you need to wait for the tank to destroy the giant Buddha statue. Because the emblem's inside the statue. That's kind of ridiculous thinking, and I don't know why they put in an emblem that's so just out of your way to get. But I guess if you're staying here long enough, you'd eventually figure it out. So, good for you for not running from a tank. And the last one, after the tank busts through the wall and you're in that final segment, right over here, behind the stairs, is the last emblem of Chapter 3. Not too bad. During Chapter 4, when you have to blow up the tanker, as Sherry only, shoot on top of the sign first. You're in slow-mo, so you should have plenty of time to get this. See? Just enough time.
Yeah,
After you're done fighting the helicopter, after Chris and Pierce help you blow up the helicopter, actually, and during this conversation, you can actually find it on one of the white cars, just off to the side in the alleyway. After you fall down to the main floor, you can actually see it during the camera transition. Right about there.
You're not even gonna ask if I'm okay?
I think this is actually one of the ones we missed during the Let's Play, and I just can't believe it. You can see it plain as day. And the last one, in the same street as you're about to transition into running from the Chainsaw Man in the boatyard. You can actually see it, whether you go up the ladder or just through here. Very, very easy to miss, but if you go up the ladder and look to your left, you'll be able to see it. In Chapter 5, after you get your gun back, you immediately go back into the room where you started the chapter and shoot the thing. You see it immediately. You can't miss it. When you're going through and activating all the different elevators, I would say go through all the back rooms, because in one of those back rooms, in one of the cases, is another emblem. This one's kind of funny. You can technically get it early if you're a good shot, but in the room where you fight Ustanak, you can see it all the way back there. It is so far away. But if you don't want to get it with a sniper rifle during the fight, and you actually get to this point where you can collect ammo and everything, it's actually back the furthest away. And the final one for Jake and Sherry is after your fight with Ustanak, right before you go on the rocket-powered cart, I guess. It's right here. Alright, 60 down, the last 20.
Some kind of warehouse.
At the start of Ada's campaign, when she's going through the sub and she mentioned something about an alarm, when you go up these little flight of stairs, you'll find the first emblem. Pretty soon after that, when you get this cutscene talking about where she needs to go in the sub, look for that scene in particular, and when you see there's a notification for an upcoming weapon, come through this door, and behind one of the pillars is another emblem. This is another one that was somehow missed during the Let's Play, and I had to point it out in post. It's just right there in plain sight. How did I miss it? This one's kind of confusing. So, you know while the sub is sinking, you have to turn that valve in order to turn off the water. Well, the opening next to the valve actually has an emblem down here. Now, if you go up the first ladder, you're going to miss this. So I would suggest wherever the valve is, go down that opening. And the last one, when you have to dive under the water, look for the bees, and then go back to the room that looks very inconspicuous. It has a couple boxes, but it also has the last emblem of Chapter 1 for Ada's campaign. Be sure not to miss it. And bees. This is right at the beginning of the chapter, in Chapter 2. It's behind the first gravestone. Very nice, devious hiding spot. I appreciate that. And very easily missed, I should say. The next one, after you assemble the Simmons family crest, go through the door, head on down, do not go through the main door, because if you turn around and look into the corner, there's your emblem. A lot of devious emblems are just right behind you. After your fight with Deborah, come through all of these fenced-off areas, and it's actually right here when you're about to touch the water. Be sure not to blast off or else you're going to miss it. And right near the end, when you jump down here in the sewer to go the long way around, turn completely around, and there it is. See what I mean about turning completely around and there being an emblem? This next one, when you have your indicator telling you to go through those two stalls, take a short trip down to the other two stalls, and there's your emblem. It actually blends in. This next one has a cutscene associated with it, so I figured this would be easier to track down. As soon as you see the people being shot down in the streets, come around the edge where they were, and you can find the emblem. Yeah, this one was easily missed, just because I wasn't concerned about what came out of that area. On the bus, this one is very easily missed. Back in the back, after the bus stops for the first time when you're fighting the chainsaw guy, there it is in the background. And the last one, after you're done with the chainsaw guy, after he gets hit by the train and you jump off the train, in this little area down the stairs, you can actually find the emblem. Don't go too far, or else you're going to trigger the event where Jake and Sherry are running from the chainsaw guy on the boatyard. You don't want that to happen. Get your emblem first. After the first spotlight section, the first stealth section as Ada in Chapter 4, come up here, and your emblem is right in the corner. By the way, these ones are really difficult, so pay attention. The next one, right before you go down the elevator to see Carla. This is a point of no return, so before you go down this elevator, look in one of the lockers. There it is. Now, right before you get chased by mutated Carla, you can actually come back if you miss this, just immediately die, but right before you jump down and she starts imploding the boat, there it is. And during one of the segments where you learn that her heads actually attack you, it's actually right next to it, so force it to attack, and then come around the corner. She can't hit you from here. And the last four are basically all helicopter. There's your first one, right as you're defending Leon and Helena. The next one is when you're fighting the helicopter yourself. This one was kind of hard to find. You actually have to lower your altitude and go around some of the buildings. Look for the billboards. It's on this blue building. It should be one of these. Oh, there it is. So, on the blue building on one of the billboards. The next one is actually when you have to defend the people from zombies, the ones with the dynamite. Around this building, I think it's all the way on the other side. Don't worry, they'll survive. Don't even worry about it. But right about there it is. There's your emblem, and that's the last one for the helicopter. Because at the very end, right before you go fight Simmons or help Leon kill Simmons, come onto this girder, and then take a look to your right. Over on that building that's currently being constructed, your final emblem, the 80th one, is right there. So let me go ahead and reload. Let's actually make this count. That's the final emblem of the game. That is all 80 of them. After you're done, it's always good to go see your collection. When you complete a row of emblems, either going sideways or top down, you get a figure for completing all of those emblems. And once you collect every single emblem, the bottom right corner figure actually unlocks. So what I'm going to have happen for the rest of the video, except for a small snippet at the end, I'm going to look through all of the passages, and if you want to read them, you may pause the video and see them. I'm also going to be taking a quick look at all of the figures that you unlock. So I'll see you in about 20 minutes or so.
Just like Raccoon.
It's all my fault. I did this.
It's my job to prevent terrorist attacks, not cause them. I've always valued your friendship, Leon. Can't keep running away. We're taking you back, Captain.
Leon! What are you doing here? All right. This is it. Man, look at this circus. You got any popcorn?
You could be the key to saving this world, Jake Mueller.
Jemand hat der Rasbier! don't need a weapon to kill assholes like you.
I'm not even gonna attempt to fight until I get a gun. Sorry, boys, no time. My dance card's already full. Can you feel it spreading through your body yet? Roger that. I'll map out the safest access route.
Captain!
I'm just here to find out what you're up to.
It's just like Raccoon.
One final note I'd like to make in this video. It took me 17 hours and 39 minutes to find those serpent emblems, starting from a brand new game. That's ridiculous. Next time on Resident Evil 6, we'll be looking at all the side modes and anything else we might have missed. See you guys next time.